Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Now we have injury updates on Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. Both of them went off against Leeds United over the weekend. We couldn't even really enjoy that win, and it was an amazing win with everything positive that happened in that game and in that on that day as well. But unfortunately, with Saka and Odegaard both going off, there was a bit of pain in that win. So we're going to go through their updates, and also Gabriel Jesus and Christian Norgaard was the latest. I can't believe like within 2 weeks we have like 6-7 injuries. We still haven't even gotten an update on Kai Havertz, so I'm a little bit worried about that one because it's already been more than a week since Havertz got injured. So that doesn't look good at the moment, but hopefully get good news on that one, just like we have on this one. Now, Bukayo Saka, Sammy Mokbel says Arsenal attacker Bukayo Saka expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks with hamstring injury. He's set to miss Liverpool clash and England game. Martin Odegaard's shoulder injury not severe. So that is absolutely great news. Now, the best news would have been Saka and Odegaard not being injured at all. That would have been the best news, obviously. But the second best news after that would have been, less time and not really serious injuries. Last season both of them got injured. Bukayo Saka was out for a long time, basically missed the whole of part of December, the whole of January, the whole of February, and almost the whole of March. And Odegaard as well. Odegaard actually got injured at the start of last season, so I was hoping, man, is it happening again? Another injury for Odegaard at the start of another season? We don't really want that. Yes, we have a great squad coming up. We have a great squad now for this season. We're going to talk about them, the replacements, and all of that. But you don't want it to be in a situation where your players are injured and then you're using your bench players all the time after all of your players are injured. No, we don't want that. We want our players to be rotation options, and coming on for Odegaard and Saka because they need to be rested, not because they're injured. But the reason why you have a squad is because of things that could come up. Injuries is one of them. Suspensions is another. Resting players is another. So you just have to be ready. So for Bukayo Saka, he went off with a hamstring injury. Very, very worrying because he missed 3-4 months with the hamstring injury as well. This time it was the other hamstring. If it was the same one, then I think would have been a bit worried because you don't want a back-to-back injuries in the same hamstring just a couple of months after his surgery. But luckily it was the other hamstring, and this is why you have a squad. We're already expecting Saka to miss the Liverpool game. We're expecting him to miss other games as well. So that is why we have a squad. This is why we signed Madueke to be back up to Saka. This is why you have other options like Trossard signed a new contract. Martinelli is probably going to stay as well. This is why you have all these options in the squad. This is why we signed Deberici as well, to play next to Odegaard, to play instead of Odegaard in that position. You need quality options. Last season, if Saka and Odegaard got injured even for a week, we'd have been in trouble. Right now, it's still sad because we have Liverpool coming up and Man City coming up. That is the worst thing about it. But you just have to find a way to navigate through those fixtures. But if it wasn't for these fixtures, the blow would be less because you'd be like, okay, less than a month, we can get through these other fixtures that are coming up, and the blow wouldn't have been as hard. But because it's Liverpool coming up, and you want Saka to play in that game, that's like your biggest game of the season. That's why it hurts more, but hopefully you can get through that game. Now, speaking of fixtures, these are the fixtures Saka could potentially miss, so that is not great at all. Liverpool away from home, which is this weekend. Luckily, there's an international break after the Liverpool game. Otherwise, we'd have been missing, like 9 games or something. But after that, because we don't want to rush him back. That's something we don't want to do. That is why we have a squad. Nottingham at home, I remember he scored a very good goal against Nottingham at home last season and even the previous season as well, but we need to keep him. We need to, not play him in that game. He won't be ready for that game. Champions League after that. The Champions League draw is this week, by the way, so he should be you might be on the bench for that or something, but again, you don't really want to rush him. So Champions League draws this week. We'll find out which team you're going to play there 16th, 17th, 18th September. But after that, it's Man City and then it's Newcastle. So not the best time for Saka to get injured, not the best time for Odegaard to pick up that shoulder injury because of these fixtures that we have coming up. If you had like, a Leeds, a Nottingham and a Burnley, you'd be like, okay, no problem. But because it's Liverpool and Man City teams that you cannot afford to lose to, you need to be ahead of them. Like, it's so big for us already. Liverpool are playing against Newcastle tonight. We don't know what is going to happen. Imagine they lose and then they're playing us on Sunday. 3 points behind us. Imagine, you can be going into that game thinking, wow, we can actually be, 4 points ahead of them, of 3 points ahead of them, or even 6 points ahead of them by that game. Every game is serious, even if it's so early in the season, you have to take them seriously. So Sammy Mockwell said this on the article. He said the 23-year-old went off with the hamstring injury in Saturday's home win against Leeds United, and it is estimated the forward will be unavailable for up to 4 weeks. He also goes on to say Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard is doubtful for the match at Anfield as a result of a shoulder injury suffered in a victory against Leeds. Odegaard looked in pain as he was replaced in the first half of the 5-0 5-0 win. 5-0 win against and the former Real Madrid attacking midfielder is understood to have left Emirates Stadium with his shoulder in a sling. The Norway playmaker has not yet been ruled out of the game against the Premier League champions, and there is optimism at Arsenal that neither the 26-year-old or Saka will be long-term casualties. That's the best news for sure. That is definitely the best news. There is particular relief regarding Saka, who missed 3 months of last season with a hamstring injury. Arsenal have a much deeper pool of attacking talent this season, though, having signed Gyökeres, Noni Madueke, and Eze. Ghana's manager Mikel Arteta also has Gabriel Martinelli, Leandro Trossard, Ethan Nwaneri, Max Darman to mitigate the absences of Saka and Odegaard. So you listen to those names, you're like, okay, that is definitely better. If it was last season, man, we had players, young players like Bartley Oyedeji on the bench who had never played a game before for Arsenal, and then we had so many injuries. There was no one to bring on pretty much. We had to play Tierney as a left winger. We had to play Zinchenko in midfield for a couple of games. In the Champions League, I think there's a game, was it like a PSV at home? I think Zinchenko almost played like an 8 or a 10 in that game. He usually plays there, but you don't want Zinchenko as a 10, Tierney as a winger. You want big options, and the options that we have now, listening to those names, that feels good that you have 2 injuries, but you still have Gyökeres to pick from, Madueke, Eze, Ethan Nwaneri, Dauman, Martinelli, Trossard, all these guys are options. So that is that can only be beneficial for us. Now, Gabriel Jesus as well. Gabriel Jesus is back on the pitch training, or training with the ball. He's been just getting through the usual recovery process, but now he's back with the ball on his feet and is training on the pitch. But he won't be back right away. Maybe I'd say another 1 month or 1.5 months. But it's good news to have him back. Listen, the best thing, if these players are still at Arsenal, you want them to be fit. If a player is still here, you want them to be fit. It's better to have 25 players fit than having 20, all these players. If all of them were there, just imagine if Saka was there, Odegaard was there, Jesus was there, Gyökeres was there, Havertz was there, Madueke was there, Nwaneri was there, Dauman, Trossard, Martinelli. Those are a lot of options you can choose from. Remember, there's a lot of competitions coming up, Champions League, Carabao Cup, so you need all of these guys to be fit, and everyone will get the game time. So Jesus as well is back training, not with the rest of the team, not just individual training with the ball. So maybe less than between 1 month and 2 months, and then he'll be back. So that is positive news. Arteta told us that Martin Norgaard should be available for the Liverpool game because of which kind of game it is. You want a Norgaard as well to be an option off the bench. He might even have started. Who knows? If Mendy had not played really well in the previous game, he might even have the both of them. Who knows? Those are those rumors. I had rumors about potentially having Merino, Rice, and submitting that game just to win the midfield battle completely. But there you're really playing without a number 10. Maybe it could be Norgaard as well, as a bench option off the bench, because Liverpool have players like Gravenberch and McAllister, who some of them can come off the bench. So you need to be as strong as possible, and an extra defensive midfield off the bench would be great, especially if you're winning that game. That would be great. So that is the latest in terms of the injury reports. Saka 3 to 4 weeks. He is going to miss the Liverpool game. Odegaard might be fit for the Odegaard for the Odegaard game, for the Liverpool game, which would be fantastic for us. So that is the latest. Ben White, you haven't had anything. Havertz, you haven't had anything as well as of yet. So let's hope we do get positive news on the both of them. As of now, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.